This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to be traveling to some snowy Arctic region in order to find crystals for the M.A.S.S device. And along on this trip with us is Snake Eyes, and unfortunately we have just confronted a polar bear. So anyway, this is the second of the M.A.S.S device G.I. Joe sets to come out for the Classified series. And while there apparently are no plans to actually make a classified scaled M.A.S.S device, we are still getting some of the images for it, so I guess that's cool, or whatever. And this, of course, has a Snake Eyes and a polar bear, and Snake Eyes is in his first appearance in the cartoon version. Here on this side, we see a nice image of Snake Eyes about to being mauled by the bear, and all he's holding on to is a knife and a container of radioactive crystals. Somehow I don't think he would win that fight if it was real. On the other side, we just get the same image, only in blue. Unfortunately, not like the Rattler, where we got some nice color images over here, and it looked really cool. And the QR code that just takes you to buy shit for G.I. Joe. And we've got Snake Eyes standing there as if he's getting ready to do the "Stop! Don't touch me there! This is my no-no square" dance for the polar bear. And our polar bear's got some battle damage parts and some arrow strewn parts and everything, so this should be kind of cool actually to look at. The buyer's got broken legs. So we have a screaming face here for the bear. It's actually pretty well detailed too. There's some of that battle damage with the arrows in them. We've got a bear trap, which actually does close, surprisingly. Wow. And falls apart without a moment's notice. That should have had some pins in it, just saying. If I remember correctly, I think Timber was trapped in this, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think that's how Timber and Snake Eyes became friends. Unfortunately, looking at these hands right now, it does not appear as if they are going to glow in the dark. Which is a damn shame, because part of the whole thing with this was this is supposed to be like a radioactive material. And so why they didn't make it glow in the dark, I don't understand. But here is the M.A.S.S device part. This would actually go in the machine. And it does actually look like it would fit in something if they decided to make it that way. So if they do make the device, I guess that's ready for it. Here's the container that he carries. It's got just a little side there that shows like the nuclear shit. We've got a standard G.I. Joe rifle painted in silver and black, and it looks pretty sharp. I like it. And then we have a pistol for him, painted in the same color. And a knife. I'm not sure if this is just some lazy shit, but there's a spot for something else to hook up there, and he has nothing else to place in there. I'm surprised they didn't give us removable grenades too, since he's got the one there. Also kind of looks like this is supposed to be a knife here, so I don't know why they didn't give us one that was removable here either. But we have seen plenty of Snake Eyes in the past, so let's talk about the bear more right now. Bear more. Shop and bear more. Alright. So here is our bear. Very heavy body. Almost looks like this part here is supposed to come loose, but I guess it doesn't. But can you guys see the seam here? Very heavy. Articulation-wise on the bear, the jaw doesn't move at all, so you gotta switch out the heads. But it is on a spin, so it can spin around, look up and down. So there's a hinge in there along with the spin. So we got a hinge and a ball joint combined together, the way they used to do the G.I. Joe heads. Then, of course, we have the neck, which can go down and up. You know, I was just wondering, I wonder how many of this is like, I wonder if any of this is reused from the owl bear from the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Alright, so the arm can spin all around. We got a hinge at the elbow area. At the paw, we have a spin and a hinge. So we get lots of motion there. The claws itself also move on the front paws. So that's some pretty nice articulation there. Hold on. Alright, so on the back, we can spin most of the way around and not that far forward. The bear's knee goes that far forward, that far back, and the foot here hinges up and down. And I think it has a spin just like our old feet on the Joes. The paws are all painted. Or the pads of the paws are all painted, I should say. As are the claws. So the claws and the paws and the pads and the paws. We can swap out the head of the bear. Whoa. Check out that joint though. Can y'all see that? It's all curved and stuff. Huh, interesting. I'm not, it looks like it's on purpose, but let's go ahead and put the angry face on. Here's the bear's angry face, or as I like to put it, the ex-wife face. You know, he's actually pretty scarred up, too. Also, as mentioned before, we can pull that out. See some nice little battle damage there. And if we want, instead of just being battle damage, we can put that in there, and it just shows the arrows sticking out of his shoulder. You know, to really piss him off. There are no peg holes in his feet to use a stand with him. Woo, and look there, I got it, whoa, balanced. Guess we'll raise this again. So check it out, we can balance the bear on his two hind legs and make it look like he's getting ready to attack somebody. Groovy. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong series. Yo, Joe. Yeah, so the bear turns out pretty nice. I do think, though, to be honest, size-wise, I feel like it should be bigger just to go with the Snake Eyes. Because I think in the cartoon the bear was about twice the height of Snake Eyes. But I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched it. In fact, I'm going to have to go and grab an image from that episode just to put on here to show the little glowing thing around him that, you know, they didn't do with this figure. At least I don't think they did. We can double check that real quick, though. Now that I think about it. Oh, sweet! They do glow in the dark. Okay, so his yellow hands that look like they probably shouldn't glow actually do, in fact, glow in the dark. Sweet. I like it. That's what's funny, though, is because honestly, it looks like it's paint on there. Well, it still could be paint, I guess, and just be glow-in-the-dark paint. It is paint. That is definitely paint on there, but it glows in the dark, and that's all that really matters. Oh, I guess we didn't see if this thing glue too or not. Yeah, it does not appear as if the container glows in the dark. That's a shame. That being said, let's get our angry polar bear out of the way and take a look at Snake Eyes here. So the fact that that's glow-in-the-dark paint, though, and not glow-in-the-dark plastic brings up its own set of problems, being that the paint will rub off on the gun. And the reason why I'm saying it's paint is because when I look at the hand here, like one of these other hands, you can see the paint rubbing off on them. So it's probably painted in this, or probably molded in this plastic and then painted over. So yeah, I just checked. It is definitely the paint that glows in the dark and not the plastic. So chances are I probably won't be putting any of the weapons in Snake Eyes' hands unless I have the bare hands in there. The bare hands. These hands. And I probably won't use those hands because I want the glow-in-the-dark ones. But that being said, let's take a look at his head sculpt here. His visor is painted with kind of a metallic purple. Otherwise, it's a blue head. And I think this is one of the Snake Eyes heads that was pretty standard already. Sorry, I bumped the camera when I was... I wanted to grab this real quick. So this is just a repaint of the retro card back, the first one that came out for Snake Eyes, which, as you can see, I haven't opened yet. So there's that. So this Snake Eyes is just reused from previous ones. All right, that being said, let's take a look at his articulation. He does have just a standard ball jointed head neck part. So we can look down, up, side to side, up and around. He's got butterfly joints. They move a little bit, but not a whole lot. He's got an ab crunch, which of course makes his harness go all funny. And rotate up a bit. We can spin at the arm. Bicep cut. Double joint at the elbow. Spin at the wrist, and I believe all of the hands here do in fact have the up and down articulation, except for the open hand, which has in and out. So the slapping hands have in and out articulation. The waist moves the way an O-ring figure used to be. Wibble and wobble, baby, or wibble and wobble. Doom, 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 da 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 doom, 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 da 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 doom, doom, doom. Sorry. Leg goes up and down at the hip. Again, mimicking the old O-ring figures. We do have a thigh swivel. Put gun back down. Double joint at the knee. Unfortunately, it feels like the joint here on the knees is pretty loose, because that moved a lot easier than any figure I've done recently. I'm being that this is a reuse of an older mold. That's probably why. We have the boot cut. We have the up and down on the foot for a hinge. And we can spin it all around and do the hokey pokey. So we got two fists that glow in the dark. We got two slapping hands that glow in the dark. And then we got two holding hands that glow in the dark. It's a little bit too bad they didn't give us a timber to go with this. But I guess since we already have two timbers out already, they felt they didn't need to. So overall on this figure, I do like him. The bear looks pretty good. I wish it was a little bit taller. As far as display goes, I mean, I don't think I'm going to use the plain head, because the yelling head looks so much cooler on the bear. The angry head, the roaring head. I just got kicked in the testicles head. And then the blue Snake Eyes will stand out on your display because, I mean, aside from the upcoming Snake Eyes version 4, I believe it was, all your Snake Eyes are basically black and gray. This will definitely stand out on your shelf for now. I kind of wish they'd gone ahead and just for the heck of it given us the silencer for the pistol, though, to go in the holster there for it, since we got it there. Wait, where did his knife go? Huh. I apparently lost his knife. Well, that is rather sad. Okay. I'll have to look for that after I get done here. Must have fallen out when I was trying to take a look at him compared to the previous Snake Eyes. Why don't you guys tell me what you think about this? Do you think the bear is too small? Or do you think it's just the right size? And what do you think about the Snake Eyes? I am, again, disappointed that the hands are painted with glow-in-the-dark plastic and not just molded in glow-in-the-dark plastic. Because now there's no point in putting any kind of weapons in these hands, after all. But I guess they did give you the plain ones to use. The real question is, are they going to give us a M.A.S.S device at some point? Now, where this one ends up being a unique issue, of course, is would you split up parts of the M.A.S.S device to put with figures, like they did with the 4-inch line years ago? Or would you just put it out as a package, probably as a Hasbro Pulse exclusive? I mean, that would kind of make sense to go along with like the 2 blockade setups that they have for the Joe and the Cobras that were released. Or pre-order was done because they haven't actually come out yet. But would you actually buy a M.A.S.S device if it was put out? It's one of those things that's kind of cool to have for your display, but at the same time, it's not really necessary. But it is from the original G.I. Joe cartoon miniseries, so it is a big part of the G.I. Joe mythos, at least for the cartoons. But if you enjoyed this look at our Snake Eyes and Polar Bear friend... Ooh, actually, hold on. All right, so if you too would like to ride a polar bear, please smash that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.